I've been communicating with extraterrestrials for about 3 years now. So in this video, I want to take the time to do some education and really teach about them. So this video is less about me, how I got started with this, or my specific work with them, because I do in fact have projects and I meet with them on a daily basis in non-physical manners. But in this video, I want to take some time to just share and educate about them. So we'll talk about what do they look like? What are their personalities like? Are they coming to Earth? What are their intentions with Earth? Is there an organization of them? How do they communicate? How do they travel? That kind of stuff. So if you're wanting to learn about these extraterrestrials, this is a video for you. Before we get started and I share more about them, I do just want to briefly mention how I communicate with them. So all of my contact up until now has been non-physical. So I use methods such as channeling, telepathy, remote viewing, and astral travel to communicate and interact with all of these extraterrestrials. I am phasing out using the word, quote, alien. I mean, think about even alien, the connotation that that kind of brings up. It's foreign and it's scary and it's different and it's something outside of us. So alien is really like even in my community, because I have other people that also communicate with these extraterrestrials. We don't like to use the word alien because they're actually our family. They're our star brothers and sisters. They're benevolent. They're really our family. And even the word extraterrestrial means outside of Earth. And the truth is, we're all becoming like one big family. So I like to use the word interstellar. So I will call them and refer to them throughout this video as the interstellars. The first question people always want to know is, are they benevolent or are they evil? Are they going to abduct us and take over? So my answer is the ones that I communicate with are benevolent. They're all like beautiful souls, like positive, radiating with love and compassion. Those type of beings, or even if they're not outwardly radiating love, their intention is always good. They're very gracious and polite and kind. And the specific group that I'm working with is invested in Earth, and they're working on assisting Earth at this time. There are negative E.T.s, and I don't know much about them, and I don't want to get really much into that, but just like even on Earth, there's good people and there's bad people. And so throughout the cosmos, there's good ones and there's bad ones. But rest assured that the good ones, the good guys, are the ones that I'm communicating with. They're the ones that are here and are stepping forward at this time and to increase their presence and to assist Earth right now. So I'm not going to focus on the negative ones. They've also shared with me that they are providing protection from potential encounters of negative E.T.s on our planet. So not to worry. Is there an organization of them? So yes, there is an organization which I refer to as the Galactic Federation. I've heard other types of names like the Space Alliance or the Space Interstellar Alliance, and they're all referring to the same thing. So the Galactic Federation, it's an organization. So it's not a government, but it's an organization of many different member planets that have come together, and their sole focus is peace and how can we keep peace on our own planets? How can we invite in new planets to also kind of have these same values of peace, of sharing technologies. They protect underdeveloped planets like Earth. So there is an organization. It's completely structured. There's councils and there's leaders and there's elections and there's different groups that work on different projects, but it's not a government, and they honor our free will. They're never imposing on anyone certain rules and restrictions. They honor our free will, but at the same time, if as a member planet you want to join the Galactic Federation, there are certain rules and agreements that the whole planet has to agree to. And one of these is not using aggression or violence. So no more weapons, no more nuclear weapons, no weapons in space. So that would be one agreement. Rather than having aggression or violence, you would work with the Federation and their negotiation and mediation specialists to help talk through and come to agreements. So the whole planet would have to agree to this. And the benefit is then, when you're part of the Federation, you get access to all of their technologies and get to collaborate on the technologies. So I would call it totally open source, sharing technologies, working together. They also do provide protection for, quote, underdeveloped planets like Earth. And I don't know if they would use that word, but we're developing, okay? The interstellars are many thousands, some hundreds of thousands years more advanced. But of course, they respect where we are and our development, and there's new and young and developing planets all over, all over. It's not just Earth. But yeah, we would have this opportunity to collaborate on technologies, have access to their technologies. They protect the underdeveloped planets. If we were to join the Federation, we would also have to agree not to interfere with the other underdeveloped planets. But yeah, so it's a pretty fantastic organization that has a really long history in the cosmos as well as with Earth. However, they are just stepping up now at this time to make their presence more known as Earth transitions into higher levels of energy and frequency and higher levels of consciousness, moving more towards peace and love and compassion, truth, honesty, creativity, because we are, in fact, in a new age where really evolving and leaving behind on Earth all of the old ways of aggression and war and control and power and greed and money. And it may not seem like that when you watch the mainstream news, which the mainstream news is controlled by a certain group that wants to put their agenda on you. Anyway, the Federation is making themselves more known and offering more assistance at this time as humanity goes through these changes into higher levels of consciousness. Okay, so now here's the fun questions about the different interstellars. So, what are they like? So, just like humans, they all have totally different personalities. I mean, some are hilarious, some are funny, some are very serious. Some are very warm and fuzzy, some are joyful and playful and silly. I mean, it's a spectrum, just like on Earth. They have families, just like us. Different races reproduce in different ways, and I don't understand all of it. Some of them are more like humans, where they have sex and they create babies. It's quite a spectrum. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know that much about it. But yes, they have families and they have offspring and they nurture and protect and love their families. They have female and male, and throughout the cosmos, being non binary is very common. There are quite a few that have no gender. What's really fascinating is that they are telepathic, and I'll get into that more when we talk about communication. But to my understanding, like they're, at least in the Federation, they're all telepathic. So they're using their minds to communicate. Most of them wouldn't even be able to speak the way I'm speaking. They have had no reason. Telepathy is instant. They can communicate with multiple people at once. So they could be having like multiple conversations and they're all talking, and their brains are like supercomputers and they can just interpret it all. So the speed of communication, and even, a lot of them are working with their minds too. So their technology is integrated with their consciousness. So they could be working on a project and also be talking and hanging out. Their brains are like supercomputers, can run all these programs at once. They could be flying a ship with their consciousness while also talking to their friend and talking to their other friend. So it's really impressive. And in addition to that, most of them are very psychic. They're very intuitive. They feel each other's emotions. Some of them can see the future. So they have these very developed psychic abilities as well. What I'm really jealous of is that they don't have money. They just get to choose what the I was gonna cuss. They just get to choose what they want to do and like pick a specialization and go to school and just do what they want to do. Like they have so much freedom. And to me, this is one of the biggest differences. And I think things we're going to have to overcome as we start to meet the interstellars is that for us as humans, like money controls our lives. Like everything we do, we need money. We have to hustle. A lot of us have to grind. You know, there's disparity between poverty and lower class and middle class and upper class. You know, there's different classes, people with different amounts of money, which gives you access to doing certain activities and different lifestyle. They don't have that. They don't have that. They don't know what it's like to have bills coming due, to have debt, to be limited by money. They just get to pick a specialization and do it, work on different projects, go to this planet, go to that, like just do what they want to do. I'm very jealous, and it's something I've had to work through as I've been getting to know them, and try to see the positive side for us as humans of learning to have money and how to spend it, how to earn it, how to create abundance, how to be disciplined with your money, and that sort of thing. So they, of course, have interstellar travel, and they're already connected. I mean, oh my God, like Earth has been quarantined, and there's reasons for that. Part of it, the main part of it is that we are a growing and developing race, and they weren't allowed to interact with us because of our free will, and also just non-interference as well. So we've been developing apart from them, kind of in a bubble, really, because they, at least the planets that have a certain level of consciousness and above, like I mentioned earlier, you know, who giving up weapons and aggression and that kind of thing, they're all already connected. Like the freaking universe is already connected. And we're going to get to be a part of that soon. I feel like soon we're going to start to have those opportunities through the Federation. They're already connected, they intermingle. And the way I make an analogy about this, because it's like, imagine being in like a random tribe somewhere on Earth that's like you're just in your tribe and all you know is your tribe, and you've never had any interaction with like the rest of the globe. And so you think all there is what you know in your tribe. But like, yeah, the rest of the globe has planes and trains and internet and are communicating, and there's all of this cultural exchange and travel. Well, that's what it's like. They're very used to all of the different races, all of the different cultures, traveling to different planets and whatnot with the technology, the interstellar ship technology that they have. Now, again, I'm just speaking in general from the interactions I've had. Again, it's a huge group and so much diversity. So I'm just speaking in general. Of course, there's going to be anomalies, different people, different planets who have different rules and different things. But this is just in general how I experience the interstellars. So the next question is, what do they look like? So, okay, so this is the question you've all been waiting for, right? What do they look like? So I have very limited exposure to what they look like because the ones that I interact with are all very human looking like. So I'll say two things here. One, my psychic seeing, so seeing when I remote view in, is my least developed psychic ability. It's improving, it gets better, and I can see some days are better than others. But my seeing is my weakest ability. And two, because they don't want to scare humans, I've only had the opportunity, well, Recently, I saw some new beings I'll tell you about, but for the most part, I've only had the opportunity of interacting with humanoid type looking ones. And again, they do that on purpose because it's what I'm ready for and what I'm most comfortable with. So yeah, the human type looking ones, again, very, very like some of them could almost blend in on Earth. They are so human looking. I will say the ones I've met so far all have lighter skin. And I think they're just presenting ones that look most like me, so I feel comfortable. But I know, I mean, there's all sorts of colors and shapes and sizes. But again, the humanoid type looking ones are generally taller. So humans are kind of short. I mean, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. They might be taller, but the ones I interact with are like kind of in that range. Very beautiful. Some of them are very, very good looking, very beautiful. Yeah, tall, thin. I've never seen an obese one. Very thin. Um, what else? What else? Yeah, just what's odd about them is their facial structure is just different enough that when I first started meeting them, it would freak me out. You know, something in my system, my nervous system would react in fight or flight and say, that's not normal, that's not human, and freak out. But definitely, you know, facial structure a little bit different. Their eyes are very, I mean, I feel like they can like read your soul with your eyes, and in many cases they can. Very intense gaze, very high vibrational, very strong vibrational bodies. I will share that I recently saw a mantis being and a cat being, interstellar, and I felt like that was good progression in my development and my comfort with them, that they felt comfortable enough to show their true form to me. So one was a mantis person, and yeah, just looked like a big praying mantis and had a robe on. And the other one was, oh, and I'll say the mantis was very gentle, like almost like a nurturing doctor. And the cat person I just saw standing there. You know, it was upright like a human, but kind of hairy. But what was cool was the energy emanating from them was just like a cat, like warm, you know, like a cuddly cat that like warm, like sits on your lap. It was so warm and loving and cuddly. So that's progress. I got to see two new type of beings, not just the human type looking ones. And I hope that I get to see more and more. So I want to get a little bit more into their communication. So as I mentioned, they are all telepathic. Again, I all the ones I've met and have experienced are all telepathic, and they could be having multiple conversations with people at different times. They could be working and having a conversation with you. So they're using telepathy, very psychic. Most of them also, if not all, have the ability to remote view, meaning that they can see into other places in space, anywhere in space. They could communicate with anyone on a, you know, on off planet, and they could see them as well. And this is just built into their biology. It's pretty neat. Another thing that I love about the interstellars is they say what they mean and they have integrity with their word. You know, as humans, we like to kind of brush things off or not be very clear with our communication, or we're afraid we're going to hurt someone's feelings. They say what they mean. Of course, they're polite and they're gracious. They're not going to like hurt you, but they're going to be very clear about their communication. They're not going to lie. They're going to say what they mean and they're going to do what they say. They're going to give it to you straight. And I personally love this and respect this. And I have been working on doing this in my own communication for years. So I love that they're just honest. I freaking love honesty and having integrity with your word. Like when your word actually means something, you can count on them and they're honest. And the last point I'll make about their communication is that they somehow have the ability to speak all languages. And so here's my understanding of that. And again, it's because they're already all interconnected, with all the other planetary systems. The best way I can explain that it works is it'd be like having Google Translate, like a program, like their freaking brains are like computers to me. Like that's the best way I can explain it. It would be like having a Google Translate just built in. So when you're telepathically communicating with someone else, I mean, it's like instantly somehow it just translates, and then they can like use the translator and say it back, but it's instant. I mean, quicker than instant. I don't know if that's the best way to explain it, but it's how I understand it. So, like, how can you speak this language and this language and this language? You all understand each other? I don't freaking know, but they can speak any language and understand it. They could watch our shows and just like watch it and absorb it. I mean, the processing speed is so fast. So fast. It's incredible. Oh, I thought of one other thing I'll share about them, and some people might understand this, some not. So, we also have an astral body, and these ETs are very adept at using their astral body. So, for many of us, we might have heard of the concept of astral projection or astral travel. And I'm beginning to learn how to use these. But besides our physical body, we have a non physical body that we can use to travel around and do things and interact. They're all using their astral bodies. So they could be physically on a ship and be doing their work and have their astral body be over here with their friends where they're hanging out, and like their friends can interact with their astral body at the same time. So, and they would also do it for work. Like maybe they're on the ship and they're doing one project, but they need to go work on something over here, and they'll send their astral body over there. It's amazing and fascinating, and I love it. The next question is, how do they travel? And I don't know the science behind it, but they do have interstellar ship technology. They all do. So there's a big, massive, like mothership, Galactic Federation mothership, close to Earth. And so there's big ships, but then individual interstellars have their own ships. And there's a dock inside where, the interstellars that work on the ship can come in and fly their ships and land and then go out and do their work or go visit their families and come back and bring their ships. So they have big ships, they have small ships, they're all interstellar. And what's really neat is that their ships are run by their consciousness. So they connect their minds to their ship. I mean, oh my God, all of their technology is integrated with their consciousness. And consciousness is a fancy way of saying their mind and their thoughts and their thinking and this kind of energy field. So the ships are integrated with their consciousness. Don't ask me how they do it, but they are able to move through space flying the ships with their mind. They very quickly can get from point A to point B without having to go through linear space time. Again, I don't know exactly the physics and how they do this, but things aren't exactly fixed in space like we think it is. They can kind of just go. I don't know how it works, but I know it's very, very, very quick and efficient to get from point A to point B all across the universe. Next question is, are they involved with Earth? And the answer is yes. The main point I want to share about their involvement with Earth is, from my understanding, they really stepped up our presence so I'm hearing throughout and then afterwards, developing our nuclear weapons technology. So after World War II, where we detonated the nuclear bombs, that's when they decided to come forward and really, lots of ships coming forward at that time, because nuclear weapons not only affect our planet, but the shock waves that go out affect their homes too. Very catastrophic. So they started to step up their presence and their assistance after that. Again, they still respect our free will, but at the same time, our actions are affecting their home. So they had to step up. And from my understanding, on several occasions, they've actually deactivated nuclear weapons that some countries were going to launch. So they're here now, and with the nuclear weapons thing, both protecting their homes and protecting us, because again, they're benevolent and they're loving and they're our family, and they really don't want us to blow ourselves up and get rid of humanity. They want humanity to go on and continue because we're a beautiful life form. What are their plans for Earth? This is very exciting to me. So, from what I understand, they are arriving to the planet, starting to arrive, or I'm hearing are arriving to the planet to start to bring in technologies. They'll be both sharing the technologies with us as well as teaching our specialists how to use them. And these include healing technologies for our body, so medical devices, things to clean up our environment on the planet, so soil, water, air. They're also bringing energy technologies. The last one is interstellar ship technology. So they're going to be, I'm hearing they are already bringing in these technologies and giving them to us and teaching us, but kind of like a little kid going to do the education, but then step back to really give us, again, as a planet with free will, what do we want to do with these? How do we want to take these and improve the planet? But they are going to be assisting us in this way, bringing the technologies and teaching. One thing I want to add to that is the reason they're stepping forward now to come to the planet physically to bring technologies is because from what I understand, there's been a tipping point, one in consciousness where people are more open to it and ready and believing in UFOs, and people who would be supportive of this idea. So there's been a tipping point. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm hearing right now. There's been this tipping point in consciousness where it's a safe time to do it. People, the planet at large is open to this, ready for this, receptive to this. And from my understanding, they have contacted governments. They still do. I'm listening. So we've contacted, so I'm listening, they're saying something right. We've contacted governments, all governments. We've contacted governments. Okay. They want to clarify. We've contacted the governments, the big players, the big powers on Earth. They were not supportive to the idea of us coming to the planet to share these technologies. They view us as a threat to their power structure. Okay, so I think that's what they want to say about that. Anything else? Yeah, they were threatened by us making our presence known. Okay, so they had communicated with governments. Governments said, no, we're not going to do this at this time. And so, because as a collective of people on Earth, and they have ways of measuring this, okay? When I said the collective tipping point was measured, where people were wanting this and asking and saying, we need help. And then also the majority of people that would be receptive to this, they decided to take a more boots on the ground approach and approach the people and work with the people. And I think this is actually awesome that it's working out this way, because it's kind of taking down the top-down government kind of power structure. I mean, I think government is great when it's done in a fair and equal and just way. A lot of our governments could use some rearranging and some updating, I think. So I think it's actually amazing that they're talking to people, boots on the ground, interacting with all of these people across the earth, and are going to be introducing themselves in a more boots on the ground way to people, to the communities in that way. The last note that I want to say is that they're saying another note. Okay, so they also want me to share and reiterate that they are offering their assistance. Okay, they want me to share more. So They really want me to focus on their assistance. They're not here to take over. They're not here to control. They're not here to tell us what to do. They're not here to admonish us for all of the disasters on the planet. It's completely not that. So they're just really like, we're here to assist. We're here to share. We're here to co-create with humans. We're here to collaborate. We're here to learn about your cultures. They're saying we have so much that we can learn and benefit from humanity. All of your experiences, all of your cultures, what it's like to be human. We want to learn. We want to share from you. We see it as an equal 50-50 sharing because we will benefit so much from the richness of humanity. And we have technologies that could be immediately employed to assist with the pollution, to assist with giving people free energy, to assist in your food sources, to give you interstellar technology. Okay, so that came through. What else? What else do you want me to say? Okay, they're asking me to do a little channeling. Okay. What do you guys want to say? I wasn't planning to channel today, but why not? Okay. Thank you, Lauren, for delivering these messages to our human friends. We know many will be frightened, shocked, and taken back by the information in this video and our presence. And we know that it will take time for humans to adjust to our presence and our assistance that we are offering. The time has arrived that we make our presence known. The time has arrived for our physical arrival to the planet to offer our assistance. Your planet has been robbed of inventions and technologies for thousands of years, as those in control and those who want to have power over others have suppressed technologies, inventions, scientific understandings, spiritual development. Medicines, forms of medicine and healing have been eradicated. Religions have been twisted and falsified. Spiritual knowledge and understanding has been corrupted across your planet for generations and centuries. So we hope to help correct that and to restore balance. Our only goal is to assist the planet at this time. We did not step forward sooner because your planet had to evolve on its own, uninterrupted, uninterfered with, to a certain level of consciousness or energy or vibration, if you will, before it would be beneficial for us to step forward. Otherwise, our presence and our arrival could have sent Earth into a more destructive path. At this point, from our analysis, as we have been closely monitoring your planet for centuries, the collective consciousness and collective vibration of the planet is such that people will welcome our presence, our arrival, and our assistance. We are coming to introduce ourselves to humans in small groups across the planet and distributed in places of high vibration. As in the beginning, for us to enter into your planet, the energies are sensitive, our energies are sensitive, and we will begin in places with higher frequencies, higher energies, unpolluted by physical contaminants and energetic and psychic contaminants. These entry points are very specific. They have been identified, and we have been in collaboration and communication with various groups in these entry points. We will identify more in the future, but it is important for us at this time to come to the planet physically and to begin to share our technologies and to immediately get to work on healing the planet. And as the pollution diminishes in all of these ways, energetically, psychically, physically, this will allow more openings and more entry points for us to come into the planet. We look forward to this arrival. We look forward to meeting you and encountering your cultures. It is our hope and our goal that Earth will join the Galactic Federation. We thank you all for taking the time to watch this video today and to begin to learn about us. We are entering an exciting time in Earth's history. We look forward to inviting Earth into our already interconnected world. Hey guys, after I channel, I always feel like I look really high because I'm like in this meditative state and I just come out. I kind of have to ground myself back in my body after that. So we're just going to end on that note. Please let me know what questions you have. Please, please, please. This is part of my work now, is to be an ambassador between humans and the interstellars, and I want to know your questions and I'll answer them if I can. Okay, take care.